Hey guys, how you doing? It's Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your free MLB baseball previews and predictions today for Tuesday, April 15th. Hope you have yourself a good start to your Ruby Tuesday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by the Raymond Report. Come and get a free 1-week membership, no strings attached, no credit card required. All you got to do is hit the link in the description, sign up, and you will get 1 free week membership right here at ATSSTATS.com. All right, let's take a look at last night's game, and the computer picks on the season here at ATSSTATS.com is hitting 55% last 100 releases, which is pretty good. And last night, Pittsburgh beat Washington 10-3. You had the Giants beating the Phillies 10-4. Giants still having that great season going on. Tampa Bay hammered the Boston Red Sox. 16-1 was the final. The Yankees took care of Kansas City. We talked about that yesterday in the podcast. Royals don't do well in the Bronx. In fact, 4-1 was the final yesterday. And in the last 10 visits in the Bronx, they only won 30% of their games. So Kansas City, hopefully Michael Wacha can change that today against Max Fried. Atlanta taking on Toronto yesterday was a 8-4 victory for the Braves. Detroit took care of business against the Brewers. 9-1 was the final there. The New York Mets beat the Minnesota Twins 5-1 for the Metropolitans. And the Cardinals with Sonny Gray taking care of the Houston Astros. 8-3 was the final there. You had San Diego extending their home winning streak to 11 games now, I believe, 11-0 at home. A 10-4 win over the Chicago Cubs. And the LA Dodgers took care of business against Colorado. 5-3 was your final. All right, so what's the markets telling us today in Major League Baseball? And looking at yesterday, you can see 60% of the favorites have won. I was doing a little bit of research this morning, and I was going through all the daily games to see the percentage-wise of the favorites winning. Because if I'm looking here, I'm looking at the last 3, 4 days, 5 days, 67%, 57%, 60%, 60%. And when I do my handicapping, I use these. I'm very visual, and I can see all the green candles telling me, man, the favorites are really having a good run. So what's the old rule of thumb in sports handicapping? When everybody goes one way, you're supposed to be looking the other. So today, I'm taking a look at underdogs today. Now, it's easier said than done because on the season, look at this. And when you're thinking about picking an underdog, keep this in mind. Underdogs have only won 36.2% of the games. So if you're picking an underdog, and if you round that up, it's close to out of 10 games, underdogs are only winning close to 4 of them, right? So it's tough pickings when you're trying to pick underdogs, especially in the first 20 games of a season, because favorites are trying to, the leaders are trying to establish themselves in the divisions. So be careful today, but I'm going to hopefully lead you guys to the right path. And always remember this. Sometimes the best bet you make is the one you don't make, right? When you get that one game, you're hemming and hawing off the, you're on the fence. Well, just sometimes it's just good to sit back and just sit that one out, right? Looking at the over yesterday, 7-3 to the over, 7-day average, 46.7. On the season, unders have a slight edge at 51.4. And looking at the run line, 60% yesterday. On the season, pretty much a coin flip. Looking at the power ratings or the market value index, this is a good little chart we have here at ATS to see how the top teams are doing. Gives you a little indication on the market confidence of all the teams. So every team in green tells you that team is bullish, just like the stock market. Team in yellow, they're neutral, so win one, lose one type thing. And the teams in red or pink, if you're colorblind like I am, these are teams that are bearish. That especially when you look at the type of teams, the A, Bs, and Cs. And in the Raymond Report, we look at the teams that are 6% or higher. Those are teams that we call A-type teams, the alphas. The Bs, those are teams with a 50 to 59.9 win percentage. And the C-type teams below 500, they're normally into the red, right? So looking at the A's right now, you can see no team is in the red, which is good if you like the top dogs. You got San Diego, Mets, Detroit flying high. Now in the Bs, you got Philly, Texas on a little bit of a downturn right now. In fact, Texas on the 3-game lose streak. Philly's lost their last 2, so they're bearish right now. Market confidence, believe it or not, 28% for both those teams. So let's see with an underdog look for today. Maybe those are teams we can look at. All right, let's get to your handicapping. Let's get to your games of the day, and we're going to use the Raymond Report. And here the short version. This is my Cole's Note version of the Raymond Report. Today you got the Marlins taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Man, this line is climbing. This morning when I was looking at this line was minus 165. Yeah, still 165. All right. But Merrill Kelly, 2-1 on the year, a 7.20 ERA. He's got a touchdown ERA. He's taking on Connor Gillespie of the Miami Marlins, and looking for underdogs. There's one right out of the gate. Hey, Merrill Kelly, 2-1. It's that 7.20 ERA that scares me a bit. The Arizona Diamondbacks winning yesterday 5-2, or the last game against the Milwaukee Brewers. So both these teams playing on 1 day's rest. The Marlins last game, an 11-4 victory over the Washington Nationals. As much as I would love to take Miami in this spot, I think the over is where you want to go. In fact, Miami, anytime they're a home team playing on 1 day's rest the last 2 years, the over has a record of 17-7-1 to the over. And Arizona does well in Miami. In fact, they're 8-2 last 10 in Miami. So I don't know if I want to touch that. The side on this game, I'm going to go over the total of 8.5. And let's see if the trend continues from the Marlins. 3 last game have gone over the total, and 6 out of the last 10 games have also gone over. Kogo's not working our way here, 40%. Kogo stands for chance of game going over the total, but that's okay. Kind of have everything leading to in a perfect direction for us, but we'll take the over today in the Marlins and the D-backs. All right, let's head over to Cincinnati, where the Reds last game a 4-0 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're playing on 1 day's rest, same thing with the Mariners. Today they're going to send Luis Castillo to the hill, who's 1-1 with a 2.12 ERA. He's up against Nick Lodolo, the lefty, for the Cincinnati Reds. He's having a pretty good start of the season. He's 2-1, a 0.96 ERA. Cincinnati at home, coming off a day game the last 2 years, 28-11. And I do like the Reds in this spot here. There's the underdog we're looking for, dog number 1. Give me Cincinnati over Seattle, and let's see if we can catch you that ticket. Be careful though. Seattle on a 4-game win streak, but when I look at their record, 0-3 on the road this season, 8-5 at home, so a lot of good home cooking for the Mariners. Pittsburgh taking on the Nationals. Last game, which was yesterday, the Bucks winning that one 10-3 was the final. Today you got Mitch Keller going up against Jake Irvin of the Washington Nationals. Now Irvin 0-0 on the season, a 5.63 ERA. Mitch Keller 1-1, a 4.24 ERA. Now the Bucks as a home team, coming off a 7-run win the last 7 years. Yeah, they're 8-2 straight up in their next game, and they're 7-3 in the last 10 head-to-head meetings against the Nationals. Give me the Bucks today at minus 125 over the Nationals. San Francisco taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. Man, there used to be this old commercial growing up, the San Francisco treat. I think it was Rice-A-Roni. Man, this team, every time I think of San Fran, I think of that commercial for some reason. I know it's a little off topic there, but hey, they're a nice treat right now because San Francisco, all they do is they just keep winning. 10-4 was the final yesterday in Philadelphia. Now Philly, last 10 games, 4-6. They're minus 150 favorite here today. And I don't know if I want to test the Giants here. I'd not laying 150 with Jesus Luzardo on the hill. He's 2-0, a 1.50 ERA. It looks really good, right? You look at this game, you're like Philly at home, 150. Luzardo, Justin Verlander, 0-0 at a 6.92 ERA. I think the over is where you want to cash that ticket today in this game, and we'll see if that pans out. All right, Boston taking on Tampa Bay. Let's hope the Rays left some runs left for this game here. 16-1 was the final. 17 runs scored in that game. Today you got Ryan Pepio up against Walker Buehler's day off, and the bookmakers making the Rays a 130 favorite. 8.5 is your total, and we do like the Rays on the computer pick, 4.7 to 4.29. And man, sometimes when you're handicapping sports, I'm a coach myself in football, and I look at managing or coaching in all sports, and Kevin Cash to me is really impressive. This guy, you give him not a big budget of a profile of players, and all the guy does is win. He just wins ball games, right? It's like Moneyball East back in the day when Oakland was Moneyball, right? That's what I think Tampa Bay is. They're Moneyball East version. 55.9% chance winning here for Tampa Bay. Minus 130 is the line. And I'm going with Ryan Pepio here at 1-1, 3.38 ERA. And the Rays, check this out, 51-18 as a home team after it allowed only 1 run against the last game. And that's the last 7 years. Give me the Tampa Bay Rays over the Bo Sox in this one. And Boston, something hit me last night. I was watching that game. I don't know if you watched that game. There was a play where Trevor Story made an error. And I'm like, man, is it just me? Or is every time I'm watching a Boston Red Sox game, there's like a lot of errors. I'm off the top of my head, I bet you they'd lead the league in errors, fielding errors. I'm going to go research that after, but for some reason, I watch a Boston Red Sox game. It's like, man, error after error, and we'll see if I'm right on that. Anyways, I like Tampa Bay today over the Bo Sox. All right, Baltimore Orioles taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Now, I was a little hoping that Baltimore would be off to a little bit better start this year. It hasn't happened. If there's one team I'm a little disappointed in, it's the Baltimore Orioles. I thought Baltimore would come out of the gate flying like they did last year. 6-9 on the year. The old veteran Charlie Morton going today, and Charlie is not. Charlie's looking his age right now. 0-3 at 8.78 ERA. He's up against the lefty Logan Allen, who's 0-1 at 3.60 ERA. I'm going to go Cleveland this one. I like the Cleveland Guardians. They are 8-7 on the season. They are 3-6 though on the road, 5-1 at home. A little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team, but that's okay. I'm going against Charlie in this one. Normally I like to bet on Charlie Morton, but I don't know. The Orioles right now 140. Going with the underdog team today and give me the Guardians at plus 120. Kansas City taking on the New York Yankees. The Bronx Bombers, a 190 favorite. 8.5 is your total. You got Max Fried, the lefty, up against Michael Wacha. 0-2 in a year, 4.20 ERA. And for Max Fried, he's 2-0, 1.56 ERA. And I'm going to take the under in this game here today. Kansas City, like I said yesterday, they look like a team that wins one, lose one type thing. Now, they lost one, so they're due to win one, I guess, if you follow that method of thinking. But I'd like the under in this one between the Yankees and the Kansas City Royals. And when you look at the Royals, last 2 games I've gone under. And on the season, or last 10 games, 2-7-1 to the under. So let's see if we can catch that ticket. All right, Toronto Blue Jays normally do well against the Atlanta Braves. In fact, when I was looking at this game, the Toronto Blue Jays against Atlanta, last 10 in Toronto, they're 8-2. So we'll see if Kevin Gausman could get back in the win column for the Jays here today. Minus 125 is the line. Again, give me the dog in this one. Give me the Toronto Blue Jays at plus 105. Spencer Swellenbach up against Kevin Gausman. Swellenbach 1-0 in a year. 0.45 ERA. Could be a low-scoring affair at the old Rogers Sky Dome, the Rogers Center. And the Blue Jays' last 3 games I've gone over. We'll see if Springer's back in the lineup. I know he hurt himself on Sunday at the plate there with his wrist. And Atlanta, man, they're off to a slow start. But you just know it's a matter of time, right? It's just a matter of time the Braves start going. But you never want to start the season 5-11 because, especially the way the Mets are playing, you don't want to get too behind in the division, right? All right, let's go to Detroit taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Now the Brew Crew took it on the chin last night, 9-1 against Cy Young winner Tarek Skubal, and the Brew Crew now on a 3-game losing streak. While Detroit, they are 10-6 on the season. Jack Flaherty going here today for the Tigers. He's 1-0 at 1.62 ERA. He's up against Quinn Priester, who's 0-0 at 1.80 ERA. Could be a low-scoring affair today at American Family Field. And looking at the line, minus 120. And we had the line at minus 123. So if you like Detroit, fair market value, and I do like them. And when I look at Detroit, let me see, I thought I had some good number. I got a nice little number here on the under. Anytime Detroit's a road team coming off a 1-run against in their last game, they are 2-10-1 to the under in the next one. So a little tip for you there on that game. All right. There they are, the New York Mets, winning last night 5-1 against the Minnesota Twins at Target Field. And the Twinkies took it on the chin all season. 5-12 on the year, 6-9-2 when it comes to the over-under, 3-7 the last 10. Kogo's high this one at 84%. Yeah, the bats aren't working for Minnesota right now, and I do like Minnesota, the New York Mets. Tyler McGill from McGill and McGill. Hey, better call Saul. 2-1 and 0.63 ERA up against, looks like it's Bailey Ober, not Robert Stevenson. I was looking around and I saw the line on the Bailey Ober. 0-1, a 7.11 ERA. If you like the Twinkies, though, I do got a nice little stat for you. They're 16-2 as a home team after they allowed 5 runs against the last 2 years. So if that scratches the itch for you, hopefully it pans out. All right, Oakland taking on the Chicago White Sox. Now the White Sox going to send Sean Burke to the hill. He'll be up against former Tampa Bay Rays pitcher Jeffrey Springs. Isn't he a knuckleballer? I think he is. Anyways, Jeffrey Springs is 2-1, a 4.20 ERA. Sean Burke 1-2, a 6.0 ERA. Last 2 games for the Chi Sox have gone under, and that's where I'm leaning. I'm going under in this one. We'll see if I do like Chicago a little bit. They're on and off. They had a little good start, then they went on a old Chicago White Sox team from last year. And then losing 3-1 yesterday. I think this one here, another similar type game of yesterday, or 2 days, actually the last 2 games, this is the first game of the series. So 2 days ago, they lost 3-1 to the Boston Red Sox. The Athletics, wherever they're playing these days, Last game was an 8-0 loss to the Mets. But I do like I like Jeffrey Springs going here with his ERA. This is a little bloated, 4.20. But anytime the Chicago White Sox are a home team, coming off 2 unders last 2 years, 14-1 to the under, and that's why I do like the under in this game today. It's tough to take the Sox here. There's a lot of times I want to take them, but they're a bad team. 4-11. All right, yesterday, Eric Fedde. Actually, I thought it was Sonny Gray that went yesterday. Yeah, Sonny Gray went for the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, that's right. He went up against Framber Valdez. Today, you got Eric Fedde against Hunter Brown. And minus 130 is the line. The thing with the Astros, they got a lot of guys, Arrighetti, Brown. They got to stay healthy for the Houston Astros to go on some type of run here. They're 7-9 on the season, while the Cards are 8-8. And winning yesterday 8-3 against Houston. So game 2 of the series. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go with the St. Louis Cardinals again. I'm going with the Cards, and we'll see if we can make the magic happen. And again, underdog. I'm taking the underdog. That's my little theme of the day here today. I'm looking for good live underdogs because we've been on a pretty good run here in favorites. So, you can't get caught in that favorite trap, right? When you watch baseball games, and it's like, man, it seems like the favorites are winning all the time. And then out of the blue, it's like, bang, you get that one day where all the 10 underdogs are coming in. So you got to be on top of that stuff because, it's like the stock market. What goes up must come down. And favorites can't win forever, but they can't lose forever also. So give me the St. Louis Cards today with Eric Fedde on the hill against Hunter Brown and the Astros. All right, another dog I like here is the LA Angels. Yep, off to a good start, 9-6 on the season. Yusei Kikuchi is up against the 35-year-old Patrick Corbin, and I believe he's a lefty. And minus 120 is the line, 8.5 is the total. And the Halos off to a good start this year. Even though they lost their last game 7-3 against Houston, they're playing on 1 day's rest, while Texas last game, a 3-1 loss to the Mariners. I'm going to go with the LA Angels here today. They're 9-5 as a road team coming off a 4-run loss last game. That goes back to the last 3 years. Give me the Halos over the Rangers. San Diego taking on the Chicago Cubs. Hate going against a team that's on an 11-0 run here at home. But, I'm not even going to touch that. I'm not even going to venture like I did yesterday. I do like the Cubs here, though. You got Shota Imanaga going up against Randy Vasquez of the San Diego Padres. He's 1-1, a 1.72 ERA, where Shota Imanaga is 2-1, a 2.70 ERA. I'm going to go with the under in this one here today between the Cubbies and the Padres. And looking at some of the analytics in this one, you can see the Cubs have a 48% chance of winning compared to 56.2. San Diego's on a 5-game win streak. And 7-3 the last 10. A bullish against B neutral. Should be a good game tonight at Petco. Give me the under 7.5 with Imanaga against Randy Vasquez. And final game of the evening, you got Dodgers taking on the Rockies. The Rockies last game 5-3 yesterday against Dustin May and the Dodgers. And today you got Landon Knack and his bloated ERA of 10.38 up against Ryan Feltner 0-0, 2.81 ERA. And I'm going to go the under here. I'm not touching the I know I like the Dodgers here, but I'm not laying 315. I think the total's where you got to lean. Or, like I said at the top of the show, when in doubt, get out. Don't touch sometimes the best bet you make is the one you don't make. That's probably cue for the cue up for that one for this one here. Maybe you don't touch this game. But if you do, I would lean towards the under. All right, there you have it. Those are my free selections today for Tuesday, Ruby Tuesday. It's April 15th. And if you do like stats and trends, I pulled some up for you guys. And let me just go through some of these here. Anytime the Yankees are a home team, the spread's between plus 180 to 200. They're 9-1 to the over. Minnesota is a dog when the total 7.5 to 8. The last 10 games, 9-1 to the under. They're 3-7 straight up. And let me see, Phillies. Anytime they're a home team playing on a Ruby Tuesday versus a National League West opponent, coming off a loss against that opponent, and they scored 4 or more runs for last game. 10-1 to the over, and they're 7-4 straight up. And let me see here. Arizona as a road team on a Ruby Tuesday in the first game of the series, coming off a 2-game win streak, and they're coming off a series win. I think it was the Brewers they played in that series. 3-13-1 to the under. So that's pretty good right there. And if you like Arizona, anytime they're a 160, 180 road favorite versus a National League West East opponent, and they're facing a right-hander, they are 12-2 straight up in their next game. And if you like Cincinnati in the under, anytime they're a home or a road team, coming off 3 unders last 2 years, 3-14-1 to the under. And those are your 80% club stats brought to you by ATS STATS.com. All right, don't forget, you can get a free 1-week membership. All you got to do is sign up here on the link description in the description. It'll take you to the website, fill out the form, and then I'll hook you up with a free 1-week membership. And this was the baseball report today for Tuesday, April 15th. Have yourself a great rest of your day. If you're interested in my picks each and every day, you can get them. Just go to Ron's picks right here at atsstats.com, and my selections will be right here, and they'll be up very shortly. Have a great day, and I'll see you back on a Wacky Wednesday with another edition of the Baseball Show here at the Raymond Report. Cheers.